Wellstone Regional Hospital is now the WHS 11 Jeffersonville weather camera sponsor. But in addition to being a valued partner of this station, Wellstone is a tremendous resource to our community. Dr. Irfan Afaq is with us this morning. Dr. Afaq, I appreciate you taking the time. What services does Wellstone provide?
Well, thanks for having me here. It's good to be here. Wellstone Regional Hospital, as you know, is a freestanding psychiatric hospital in southern Indiana. As far as the services are concerned, we provide psychiatric services across all age population, whether that's adult, geriatric, adolescent, or a children population. If you look into the geriatrics population, we do deal and provide services to elderly populations with not only Alzheimer's disease, but also the mood disorder, or if they have comorbid substance abuse issues. As far as the adult psychiatric population is concerned, they have a host of issues, whether that's chronic mental illness, mood disorder, or chemical dependency issues. And with the adolescent and child population, there are a lot of not only the mood disorder, but also the behavioral problems and a new issue of chemical dependency, particularly seen in the adolescent population.
What are you seeing since the pandemic began really nearly a year ago?
We have seen a lot of chaos and disruption in the psychiatric treatment across all age population. As you know, psychiatric patients don't do well to stress and chaos to begin with. They are not immune to stress. Stress actually can trigger acute exacerbation of not only psychosis but also the chemical dependency issues, and that's exactly what we have seen. That patients have not been able to gain access to psychiatric treatment, whether that's their outpatient psychiatrist follow-up or their therapy sessions, or just going to the day treatment centers. Some of the patients have not even been able to get their medication. And that disruption in the psychiatric care has led to not only relapse in the chemical dependency issues, but also acute exacerbation of psychosis, worsening of the depressive symptoms, leading to feelings of hopelessness, and of course the suicidal ideation, which in turn then leads for these patients who might be stable on an outpatient basis for a long period of time, end up in an acute inpatient psychiatric hospital.
Now, what about when it comes to whether or not someone who you may have a loved one that you're considering that they need to pick up the phone and call Wellstone? When do you know that it's time to reach out? And as well as that, what kind of an initial assessment do you offer?
So when is a good time to call? First of all, Wellstone provides services around the clock, 24/7. There has been no disruption in the care being provided by Wellstone Regional Hospital, even in the pandemic era. And not only just the assessment team, but also the psychiatrists and all of the parts of the treatment team are also available and always available to the patients. As far as when to call, I would suggest the earliest signs and symptoms are the time when you can call the hospital. Second, when it comes to psychiatric treatment, we always talk about early detection and aggressive management. Most of the mood disorders, whether that's a chronic mental illness or major depressive disorder or bipolar disorder, they lead to damage to the brain, whether that's the first episode or repeat episode. So the early detection, particularly the first episode of the mood disorder or psychosis for that matter, that will be the good time for the loved one, family member, caregiver, a friend or colleague or co-worker to call Wellstone Regional Hospital to get these patients the expert mental health care that is available to them.
Dr. Afak, last question for you. How long have you been serving at Wellstone? And also, what are your particular specialties?
So I have been part of the Wellstone Regional Hospital going on almost 17 years, right out of my psychiatry residency training here at University of Louisville School of Medicine. And I'm a general psychiatrist. I'm dealing with all the age populations, whether that's a geriatric population, adult population, adolescent and child population. And in addition to Wellstone providing acute inpatient psychiatric services to all these patients, we also have partial hospitalization program or intensive outpatient program where patients once stabilized on an acute inpatient unit and they don't need to be in the hospital anymore, they can be easily and conveniently stepped down to the lower level of care so they can go home but also can have good continuity of care outside of the hospital, leading to good prognosis down the road.
Absolutely. We appreciate you, Dr. Afaq, joining us this morning. For more information about Wellstone Regional Hospital, just call 812-284-8000 or visit wellstonehospital.com.